Corey was just asking me, he's like, what are you guys talking about today? And I was like, well, we get to talk about exes today. And he goes, I was like, oh, we get to talk about like all our toxic relationships. And he goes, have you had a toxic boyfriend in the last 20 years? I said, yeah, I've had a bunch. like I've had you on many different accounts. So you're welcome. This whole conversation's about you.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in, Corey.
Yeah, thanks for being here. You're sneaky listening to this one right now. Just in case I slip up about all the boyfriends I've had in the last 20 years. You ever finally sit down, like really sit down, and that's the exact moment someone yells your name from the other room?
Oh yeah, every time. It's like the universe knows. The second I get comfortable, someone needs a snack, the dog's barking, or my phone's ringing.
Exactly. And that's what this podcast is all about. Those little moments between chaos and calm, where you're just trying to breathe, but life keeps happening.
Welcome to I Just Sat Down, the podcast for moms, women, and multitaskers who do it all, and somehow still manage to laugh about it.
I'm Desi, mom, entrepreneur, serial enthusiast, and fully committed to figuring it out as I go.
And I'm Crystal, multi-passionate entrepreneur, mom of chaos, coffee enthusiast, and believer that a good laugh can fix almost anything.
Every week, we're diving into the messy middle of life. Parenting, work, relationships, identity, all the real, unfiltered stuff that no one warned us about.
We'll share stories, a few hard truths, and definitely some laughs, because if we can't laugh through it, we might just cry instead.
So whether you're listening in the car, hiding in the bathroom, or actually lucky enough to sit down,
grab your coffee and let's get into it. Welcome to I Just Sat Down.
Hello, friends, and welcome back. Today, we are talking about old toxic relationships. The ones that taught us lessons we didn't ask for, gave us anxiety we mistook for chemistry, and somehow convinced us that bare minimum effort was a personality trait and allowed. This isn't about dragging anyone or reopening old wounds. It's about laughing, reflecting, and realizing how far we've come since the era of maybe they'll change and I can fix this or him. If you've ever ignored a red flag because you thought it was a carnival, this episode is for you. So let's get into it. I feel like this episode is something that I can absolutely speak to. I have always been a monogamous girl. I've always had long relationships, people that I've been with far too long in some aspects, and some that I think we really get stuck in that like comfortability, right? And just like what feels good and what, even though it might be toxic on one side of it, you still feel like this is your safe place, your comfortable place. Like, I know with like my high school boyfriend, we dated for, oh my God, so long, like upwards of like 7 years. He was who I went to prom with. He was my first like serious boyfriend. The one I went all the way with, right? So like, I feel like there's a lot of, and not to say that that relationship was really toxic, because it wasn't. He was super sweet. We had so much fun. Like, he was a great first boyfriend. However, there were some red flags, like the jealousy. And I feel like in younger relationships, that comes up a lot for people. Jealousy is just something that I feel like probably a lot of guys experience it, maybe more than girls, but I'm not really sure. I'm not a jealous person at all. Don't have really that jealousy thing in any relationship. You want to go and hang out with girls, you want to go hang out with guys. Like, I'm more of a, you either trust me or you don't. Mm-hmm. And that caused a lot of friction in that relationship, because I am the person who has friends of both sexes. Like, I'm friends with whoever, anyone. And I was often hanging out with the guys more than the girls, because, girls are toxic relationships too, just saying.
Yeah.
But I also,
friendships. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think like that was something that was always an issue for us, was the whole jealousy thing. So that was a big red flag that I think I just kind of like was like, oh, like he'll change. This won't break us, you know? It was like I tried to show him so many times, like, these are my guy friends and nothing's ever happened. Like, we didn't go to the same high school. We were at different high schools. So I think right there that caused a lot of that jealousy, because he wasn't able to, quote unquote, watch me or like see what I'm doing all the time. And in a young relationship, you're insecure, you're whatever, right? Like, you're in those teenage years. So anyways, then once I got to, I think then you get into like that little bit of a pattern, like maybe just like trying, I don't know if I felt I needed to fix people or could fix them. So I ended up being in other relationships that, you know, were just shit.
Yeah, we have that hero
After that one.
mentality that we think that we can help save people that are drowning on their own free will.
Yes, I think, yeah, that is for sure. And like moving forward, I'm obviously not going to go into every detail about, you know, not to say I've dated a ton of guys, but like, I think my next like super serious and really long relationship after that, there was still a lot of fighting. Like, I feel like that was always just the way. And like, I'm a fighter. My mom always used to say like, oh my God, you need to grow up to be a lawyer because you just love to argue. Like, I remember my dad coming in to like an argument my mom and I would be having, and he'd be like, you guys are literally arguing the same point. You're just saying it in a different way. So it was like, we were always like bumping heads, but it was like, you're not saying it the way I'm saying it. So therefore you are wrong and I am right.
Or neither of you are actively listening to each other's points at all, because also mother-daughter relationships, it's
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But so I think I was used to that because that was happening at home. So it was kind of like a way to resolve the issues in the relationship as well. Like, I'm going to just fight until I'm heard and I'm right. And so that just always kind of continued. And then fast forward to like when I like met Dave, he is not a fighter. Absolutely. He doesn't even like to argue. Like, he just like shuts down. And I remember very early in our relationship, I was like, are you not gonna fight with me? Let's talk about this. Let's get this out. And he was just like, okay, we can talk about it, but like, you're yelling at me. And I'm like, yell back. Is that not a thing? And he's like, no. Like, so that was like a green flag that went up, that I was kind of like, that's so weird. Like, what is happening? Like, I literally had to relearn how to communicate better in a relationship, in a healthy relationship, which is a crazy thing to think about.
It sounds like he was like hugging your nervous system a little bit. Like, I love
like,
that so much.
Just calm down. Like, why are we so heated? And I think, like, I wrote in our notes here, I was just like, I think that I was so much in fight or flight, like dating the person that I was dating before Dave, that that was just where I was at. And I didn't know how to like let those walls down. So I feel like that was like a big learning curve for me. Like, oh, we're in a relationship where we don't argue, we get along. Like, it almost felt like when I first started dating Dave, I remember like telling my girlfriends, like, I feel like it's too good to be true. Like, what's wrong with him? And like, spoiler alert, nothing. Yeah. It was, what's wrong with these other fucking men that I've allowed into my life, that have shown me all the wrong things and how to be in a relationship, which, like, looking back, like, I'm a little bit sad for her, because of all the things that I literally put up with and just dealt with, thinking that it was going to get better. And I think that narrative of you're supposed to be here. All my friends are getting married. I'm going to weddings every weekend, shooting the most magical couples together while I'm living in this toxic relationship where there's no growth. I feel like, we're constantly going backwards. Like that was a hard season for me. Like I do look back at that girl and I'm like, I promise you, like, just leave him. It will get better. I promise.
Do you believe in like karmic lessons and like, obviously we have to go through these relationships that are toxic because we're learning what we do deserve and finding that strength in ourselves to be like, I don't want to walk on eggshells. I don't want to be treated like shit every day of my life or be yelled at because I thought I did something right, but they didn't like the way that I did it. So now I'm getting yelled at because of their shit, and their shit's not your shit. Like, it doesn't have to be, right?
No, and I think too, like, just realizing that, like, it almost was like, do I deserve to be treated better? Of course. But I think, like, looking back, like, I just didn't know.
At what point did you kind of realize, though, that it wasn't too good to be true, that it was actually how you were supposed to be treated?
I know. It's so
crazy.
I think just like, no, I don't question it anymore at all. Like, I know that, Dave was brought into my life at like the perfect time. And, we met in a weird way, like at a destination wedding. And I think I was still in that toxic relationship when we met. And when we broke up, he kind of just like came in and was like, yeah, like, let's go on a date. Let's see where it goes. Yeah, I was still in that toxic relationship. And I think I was just feeling so trapped. And then, a guy is nice to me and I'm just like, okay, that's cute. But I remember telling my girlfriends, he's not really my type, meaning Dave, like not really my type. I don't know. He's super nice. And then he was persistent. So we went on another date. And then I think that's when I was like, okay, like, yeah, this is fun. We had the best first date that I'd ever been on. Like the conversation didn't lag. We just chatted. We talked. It led into a second date. And it just, as much as it felt like, oh, maybe like this is too good to be true, I enjoyed being treated right.
Yeah, and it's hard when your normal feels toxic and your normal feels like yelling and your normal feels like walking on eggshells. It's hard to accept that this is able to be a new normal for you.
Yes. I feel like when Dave and I moved in together, that was kind of when it was like, I almost could like exhale and just like breathe. And that's when I kind of knew that things were different. And this is kind of how it should be. I shouldn't be receiving text saying, I'm going to be home in 5 minutes. Dave would actually come home in 5 minutes, whereas I would wait hours and hours for others, And obviously, like, there are big red flag differences in the relationship. There's no substance abuse happening. There's no, I wasn't feeling trapped. I was living in my own apartment when we first started dating. So I was free to do my own thing. So that's why I'm saying, like, Dave came into this relationship at just like the perfect time. I had been living on my own. I had been independent, for the first time, literally ever. Like, I moved into my high school boyfriend's house with his parents at 18 because I wanted to be in a town that had a place where I could work. I wasn't driving. I didn't get my license till I was 19. So, like, I wanted to be somewhere convenient. And then that just kind of trickled into, well, I'm not moving back home. That's
oh gosh,
crazy. Yeah. Right? So then it just kind of, so I think me living in my own apartment, having that, like, just independence really made moving in with Dave the I needed to make sure it was the right step, the right thing, right?
Mhm.
And like I held off for a little while. But then, we did it and things have been great ever since. I think that obviously we've been through ebbs and flows as every relationship is.
Oh, every
But
relationship goes through their shit. Yeah.
yeah, but throughout that, it's always been this want to make it work, that want to fix it. And it was never one sided. You know what I mean? I feel like in past relationships, it was always just me being like, can we fix this? Can we make it better? And having those empty promises promised to you, right?
Yeah. Or the blame game of like, oh, like them blaming you, saying like, oh, you're the problem. When you're
Oh,
like,
of
no, I'm not the
course.
fucking problem. What do you mean I'm not the problem?
I mean,
think you're
I
normal.
wish I thought that way. At that time, I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I am the problem. Am I the one doing drugs?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Is this all a dream? Yeah.
Wait, I can have like a couple of drinks and then just like end it. So weird. So weird like that. Oh my
Not
goodness.
barfing everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Just, oh my God. But I really do feel like once you're in that healthier relationship, like the glow up that you have just in like, if not anything else, but like just your self-respect. Like you just feel so good, you know? And it's like you start to look back and be like, oh my God, like why? And then that's when all your friends come out of the woodwork and they're like,
Finally.
we knew that you shouldn't be with him. He's awful. He's atrocious. All these things, right? Oh, we knew he did XYZ.
Oh gosh.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Yeah. But then it comes
But
down to the fact that we don't listen to our friends when we're in this because our head is so deep in the sand that we can't see anything other than, oh, I love him, or oh, he's so cute, or like, I love when he
he's
doesn't
getting
yell at me.
better.
Yeah.
He's getting better. He's
Yeah.
getting
All the
better.
lies. And I remember seeing the movie, He's Just Not That Into You, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Damn.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay, so
maybe
they've never been into me then, because
never.
I feel like for myself, like Corey and I have been together since, like, it'll be 20 years this year that we've been together. And
20 years, you guys.
more than half my life, basically. About half my life.
That's amazing though.
Yeah, it is. But it's like we've grown together over those
Yeah.
20 years. So we've been through so much shit. And like, he was my toxic relationship when we first got together. He was, for a very, very long time, we were
Yeah.
not healthy. But I also know that I had like a lot of unhealthy views on relationships growing up. So I don't fault us in that. And it was probably not until like 2019 where we had this like extremely difficult year between the two of us where we thought maybe this is it. Maybe we just can't do this anymore. And that's okay. Like we have
Yeah.
3 kids, they're still little. And at this point, I'm starting to do my own inner healing and starting to see like what I actually want my kids growing up as their normal, right?
Yeah.
Because you start to have different priorities for your kids. For me, it was just like my normal was, yeah, like being talked to a certain way or being treated a certain way, or if somebody's upset, then I don't want to upset them anymore. Like I'm just gonna like tiptoe around them and nobody's perfect, so I don't put
No.
all the blame on him during that part of the relationship, but he can take ownership also. I wish I should just calm down here so we can have this conversation, but
Yeah, he can have a little chat with us.
it's like he knows. He'll tell me sometimes like, wow, like I treated you like shit. And then, 2019 I kind of treated him like shit because it was just like, well, how do you like being treated like this? How do you like being talked to like this, or, not cared for and stuff?
Right.
So we went through a lot of like over the years, we went through a lot of back and forth because as we're both growing into different people at different stages of life, we're learning different things about ourselves. We leaned into each other. The thing is with Corey is that I never, after any fight, I never thought, oh no, he's going to leave me. Oh no, this is it. It took us 10 years to get married because we wanted to be sure. I would have got married sooner for sure, but he was a little hesitant. I wanted to be married before I had kids because that's what I was taught was what you were supposed to do. And now when my kids talk about, oh, well, aren't you going to have a husband? I'm like, don't force it. Don't tell her she has to get married because she doesn't have to get married. I don't care if you get married. Anyways.
I love it.
My relationships, like my first boyfriend, I was in grade 5, right? So, and he was like a year older. So it was like the way that we talked to each other and hung out with each other, it was like 11 months. That was my longest relationship for most of my life. It was 11 months of on and off because we would break up because he would look at me a certain way or say something and I'd be like, I don't like that. I don't want to be with you anymore. Right. And then we broke up because a friend went to him and was like, oh, she doesn't want to go out with you anymore. And he was like, okay. And I was like, what? He just said, okay, whatever. I'm over it. Right.
I love it. Like, that's so funny.
It's like just stupid petty shit. But that was like going into middle school. So I lived in Mississauga, and in Mississauga, it would be like K-5. And then we had 6, 7, and 8 for middle school and then high school. So once we entered our middle school era, that is where it was like new and exciting. And that's when the hormones, I feel like, start around those ages where everybody's looking for boyfriends and girlfriends to hang out with each other and the kissing starts. Yeah. So like,
yes, the kissing. Oh, fun.
Yeah. When that's all it was for pressure was like, this guy wants to kiss you. Yeah. So grade 6.
He's touching her butt at the dance. He's holding her, like, you know, like the hand in the back pocket. Oh God, love them.
And we were Mississauga. So we were naughty. Me and my girlfriend, we were naughty kids. Like we would go on the bus from Clarkson to South Common, which was probably like a 30-minute bus ride with no one with us. That's my middle child's age right now, and I would die if she ever tried. But yeah, so we were just all day long. We were gone on the buses, and you could get a transfer. So you'd get to one bus stop, and you'd have a transfer that you could continue on to wherever the hell you wanted to all day until it expired. So it was cheap. Yep, $2 full day. And then we'd go to the movies and meet up with boys that we went to school with. And me and her were dating twins. So we would go and hang out with them all day and then come home hoping that we weren't in shit. But I moved to the small town in the middle of grade 7. So it was like they tore me out of this life that I just like, I loved. I loved that I had a boyfriend. I loved that I had these best friends that I just ran wild with. And then they brought me to this small town because my older brothers were getting into shit, like starting to do drugs and hanging out with the wrong people, jail, like courthouses, all this shit.
Right.
Like, let's move you to us. It was like fucking the middle of nowhere.
Right. The boonies. I lived in the boonies.
But this was boonies to us because we just were Toronto, Brampton, Mississauga kids, right?
For sure.
So when we moved up here, it was like, I didn't get the attention that I got when I lived in the city. I was like different looking and I didn't like nobody in the very beginning.
Because a new girl.
Yeah. You're fresh meat at first. So all the guys are like, ooh, like, you know, hot commodity. But as that settles, then I didn't date. I didn't date once I moved here. I didn't date through all of high school. And I hated this place because I was a girl with daddy issues. I was a girl who wanted...
I need that comfort.
Yeah, I wanted that attention. Yeah. So as I got older and I started to look differently and develop and whatever, I was like, okay, but all the guys here were always on fucking drugs. And like, they were bored. They had nothing better to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
It was hard, right? So I never really dated in high school. I had a crush on everybody at some point. Like I was boy crazy for sure because I was always seeking that.
Right.
And it would just, and then I'd realize, oh,
hormones.
Yeah. And then it'd be the next one and then the next one. And I literally, like when I look back on it, I was like, ugh, like the guys that I was like, oh, I have a crush on this guy. It was like anybody that would smile at me and give me any attention. Right. Yeah. So that was hard. And like, I had the biggest crush on Corey growing up. Like we went to high school together. He was my brother's friend. I always had that, you know, lingering crush there, but he always liked my friends. He'd always be like, oh, can you hook me up with so-and-so? And I'm like, I'll let them know. Whatever.
A people pleaser in you. I will tell them.
Yeah, I'll let them know. You're an
Fine.
idiot, by the way. But anyways, and then so when I was like, I had a lot of mental health issues in high school. I lived in a household where, I wasn't getting help that I needed. I felt like I was just like. I also had a brother who was mentally unwell. My oldest brother has schizophrenia, so my parents had to focus on him when I was like 15 at a detrimental stage where I was going through a lot of shit.
That's so
So I
hard.
turned, yeah, so I turned to drinking a lot, and it went like not noticed for so long that it just got to a point where like I was in a lot of I don't want to get too into this because this could be like a whole nother conversation, but I got in drinking a lot, blacking out a lot. I was like self-harming. I was in and out of programs and treatments and whatever else throughout this time, that finally some lady, one of the doctors that I had seen, was like, I don't think that you're safe at home because you keep doing these things living in your home. I think that I would advise that you look into a youth shelter. She gave me the number to a list of youth shelters in the city. She's like, I feel like you're safer reaching out to see if you can get a bed secured in the city, get away from your house. You're just not in a safe place where you're there. So we did that. I told my mom, I'm like, I'm not mentally okay. So she had fought it, and she was like, just call your dad, see if you can stay there for a couple weeks. I go, okay, don't want to do that either. But when I called him, he had said that he couldn't afford to feed another mouth, was the words that he gave me. And I was like, sweet, going to Scarborough. So I ended up in Scarborough for like quite a while, on and off, just running the streets of the city, like downtown Toronto and all that stuff, with these other homeless kids. Like these kids were like, there was a lot of kids that had a lot of issues. There was a lot of like crime and whatever else going on. I remember the first week that I was there, again, like you're back into the city set. All these people are like, oh, like fresh meat, fresh meat, fresh meat. Like you're a hot commodity coming in. And my like everything in me was like, yes, like this is what I wanted. My hormones were like, oh my God, everybody here wants me. And I love this. And it was like such an ego hit, right? Yeah. But then within like the first week of being there, I was involved in a robbery, but I wasn't involved. Like it was there, but I wasn't a part of it. I was just like, I kind of witnessed and was in shock. And then when I saw the police coming in and picking up the kids from the youth shelter, I was like terrified. Like I'm going to jail. What is this? And
this is it. This is the end.
This was my introduction to the shit. And I kept my nose clean. Like I never put myself in a situation again where I was at that extent.
Yeah.
So many other situations I was put in, being in the city around unsafe people. We could get into a whole conversation about human trafficking at this point, but that can be another conversation. But again, the dating for me was like, I dated people who I felt safe around.
Yeah.
And again, like I had a long-term boyfriend through that situation that was like my longest relationship at that point. That was my first love, my puppy love, who I thought like, this is the person who I'm going to be with forever. But turns out he was more like, you know how they say sometimes you date people like your dad? Mm-hmm. He was like dating my real dad. And then I always say Corey's more like my mother. So, I think I shifted. But that was the guy that like, Corey was the only person that I ever dated that never cheated on me. I was through so many relationships in my life, and every single one of them had cheated on me either once or multiple times. I never tried to like allow it to happen, but sometimes when I realized it was happening, it was like, okay, like I don't stay in this relationship. I know that I don't stay, but I need to like figure out my next move. And at that point, that's when you got to move home. And you got to take that hit, even though you know internally you're dying because you don't want to be there. And
100%.
It was really fucked up. And I had another boyfriend in between, like the first love and Corey, and he's a nice guy from this area, fishing, drinking, all the things that like I have no interest in. Like you probably know him, but anyways, and then it was one of those relationships where I was like, he's falling in love with me, and I can give him nothing. So at that point, I had to be like, I need to like not do this anymore. And he hated me for a little while, and then he was fine after. But I loved his family more than I loved him.
Yeah. Yeah, had a couple of those for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I think once I started dating Corey, it was like, finally you smartened up. Finally, we're here at this point in our lives that like we're supposed to be together. Within like 2 days, he told me that he loved me. And that was what I needed. I needed somebody who loves me. And I didn't say it for a while because I was terrified of all these shitty guys that I had dated, right? Like
I waited 8 months after Dave said it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Dave said, I love you. And I waited 8 months to say it back because I really just wanted to be sure that it's not that I didn't love him. I think I did. But I really wanted to make sure that I wasn't throwing those words around anymore. Yeah. And I, looking back, I'm like, oh my God, Crystal, 8 months, like that's crazy. But I think at that time, the relationship that I had before was just, it was that shitty that I really wanted to make sure that I was in the right place and wanted to make sure that I was truly just head over heels before I said those 3 words to literally anyone else. I don't think it had anything really to do with Dave himself because I know there was love there. I just didn't want to say those words if I didn't know in my heart of hearts that I really, really meant it. So I think I was just safe with the words. Like and words are just words, right? Like, but
also when you tell somebody you love them,
mean a lot.
Yeah, sometimes when you tell people that you love them, then they're like, "Oh, time to take advantage of this girl because she fell in love with me." And that's like when you have that toxic past, you feel like, okay, well, if I tell them that I love them, then they're just gonna like ruin my life.
Right? Exactly.
Like that's what it feels like at that point, right?
And I think too, like coming out of that relationship, like the previous relationship, it was kind of like, was I in love? Or was I just in a familiar place or in a spot where I feel like I did feel super trapped near the end of that relationship because of money and just where am I going to go and like all those different things. So I think that kind of all comes in to play. And as much as you don't want to bring shit from previous relationships into another one, it comes with you. And it's like, there are certain things that would happen. And I'd be like, okay, I'm not talking to the ex. I'm talking to Dave. Yeah. So you have to like relearn that shit, right? Yeah. And like, especially for you being, I feel like with Corey for so long, like your whole life, like, and even now with Dave, like your whole life, all your life experiences are brought into this relationship, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I feel like when you trust them more, you tell them more, it's all those things, right? So,
yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Anyways.
All right. So instead of rapid fire today, I wanted to do let's fill in the blank. I mean, we can do rapid fire if we want to, but I think this might be interesting. Okay.
Yes, I love it.
So
I love it.
If they say, I'm just bad at texting, what do they really mean?
They don't give a fuck.
They're either annoyed, they just don't want to talk to you. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care.
The biggest red flag you ignored because you were being understanding was
probably drug related.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was very naive to drugs, but very naive.
Yeah.
I didn't do many. So I was like, oh yeah, like, I don't know. I get it. It's fine. I understand. Yeah. No fucking clue.
I think even just like them being like, oh, I was so drunk, I didn't realize what I was doing. One of those.
Right.
A lie you told yourself to stay longer. Well, at least they're not ...
cheating on me, even though they probably were.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah.
At least they're not cheating on me. No, they were always cheating on me. So what I told myself was like, I love them, but I love them. It'll get better. I love them.
Yeah.
A song that should have been your exit sign.
Bye, bye, bye.
I think that is perfect. Yep. The moment you realized you were dating potential and not a person.
Oh my God.
Was there potential though? Because I don't know if there was potential.
No, I feel like like I said before, like I just kind of made that up in my head. Like this is where I'm supposed to be. We're supposed to be moving on to the next step, And so that's why I stayed. This is like, it'll get better. It'll happen.
Yeah.
Imagine. Oh my God. No.
For me, it was seeing the family dynamics, being like, this is a healthy family that they came from. This is a beautiful family. And then it's like, okay, I would love to be a part of these every Christmas, every birthday event, like they do fun things in the summertime together. They do, like seeing those healthy family things that I didn't grow up with. I was like, oh.
Right. I feel like guys would have thought that about me. Like, she always gets together with her family. The family's great. So fun. Now you don't get to be a part of it.
The apology that wasn't really an apology. I'm sorry,
I'm sorry. You know I love you.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Because people who love you don't treat you that way.
Yeah. Or I'm sorry you don't understand what I'm going through. Or I'm sorry, I'm sorry I cheated. I was drunk. Yeah, something like that,
Oh.
Something stupid, I know.
It's
always, now
it's something shitty. It's bullshit.
Yeah. Hindsight, yeah. If it makes you feel like shit when they're saying it, that's one of those red flags. I was colorblind in my relationships. I was always colorblind. I didn't see shit until afterwards. And then, same people would be like, oh, I would have told you, but you wouldn't have listened. And I'm like, you're fucking right. I wouldn't have listened. I loved them. Even though I didn't really know what love was, but yeah. One thing that you stopped doing to keep the peace.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe stop bringing it up. Like, hey, I found your drugs.
Just leave them on the counter.
Hey, I threw them out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, it was just like not arguing. Like you said, like Dave just doesn't argue. I'm not a big arguing person. I think I just would shut down more than anything and probably cry in the corner and wait for them to not acknowledge that I was crying.
Yeah, for sure.
If your friend dated them now, what would you tell her?
Run. Fucking run.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like, bye, bitch. Bye.
The glow up moment was when you realized
I can do better.
Yeah.
I deserve better.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And then so love bombing or emotional unavailability. Like, I don't know which one's worse.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know that I've ever been love bombed. I think usually it's emotional unavailability. And then I'm like, please hold my hand. Please.
Please love me.
All right. Let's go ahead and close this episode out because this was, I would say fun, but I don't know if it was fun. I feel like it was, reminiscent. If this episode had you laughing or saying, why did I stay so long? Just know awareness is growth and humor is healing. Old toxic relationships don't define you, but they do make great lessons and even better stories once you're on the other side. If this episode resonated, share it with a friend who survived their own "what was I thinking" era. And don't forget to rate and follow the podcast so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for sitting with us today. And remember, peace is always hotter than chaos. Well, that went by fast. Kind of like every quiet moment we try to have in real life.
Right? I swear I just sat down. And now it's already time to get back up again.
Story of our lives. But before we head back into the chaos, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
We hope this episode made you laugh, think, or at least reminded you that you're not the only one trying to hold it all together.
Because none of us really have it figured out. We're all just doing our best. One cup of coffee and one deep breath at a time.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss when we finally get to sit down again.
And share it with a friend who could use a little reminder that it's okay to take a break, because she deserves it too.
You can find us over on Instagram and TikTok at ijustsatdown.podcast. We love hearing from you, your stories, your wins, and even your "you won't believe what happened to me today" moments.
Next week, we're diving into...
It's going to be a good one, so get comfy because by the time you finally sit down, we'll be right here with you.